Recording is in progress, and I am Nancy Friedman, founder and chairman of Telephone Doctor, can see behind me, Customer Service Training. And today, as you can see on the other side of the fence, and he's got a bigger sign than I do, is Tom Dufore with Big Sky Franchising. I'm going to let him introduce his own thing because, as you know, a Nancy program is called Out of the Box, which I have no script. There's no template. I'm not looking at any notes. I don't cheat. So I ask out of the box questions. Tom doesn't even know what I'm going to ask him, except for those that may not be familiar with what Big Sky, I have not been drinking, with what Big Sky does or wants to do or is doing. You're on your stage, sir. Go ahead.
Well, Nancy, thank you so much for having me on as a guest. I'm so grateful to be here. I love the things that you do. And as we were talking pre-show here, one of the things that's always exciting, you always provide great information, relevant, just really good info, just provided in such an entertaining way. So I've appreciated that.
Oh, stop.
So I always appreciate that. So, we've been connected for a while. You've been on our podcast, Multiply Your Success, in the past. So I'm so grateful for you and all that you do. So thank you. And my name's Tom Dufore, as you had mentioned, and I'm the founder and CEO of Big Sky Franchise Team. And what we do in short is help companies, typically a small to mid-sized business that wants to grow. We help them actually franchise their business is what we do. In short, is the easy way to do that.
Good. Oh, that was it. That's a good.
That's
one of the best.
That's short and sweet and condensed for you.
And one of the best elevator speeches I've heard in a long time. You ask somebody, well, tell me about your business, and they go on forever. They don't make a story out of it or anything, or they keep it too long. That was very good.
Well, thank you.
I have it on Multiply Your Success, and it is a good show. I've been blessed, with plenty of those. You too. I brought you on because I'm trying to interview people that I haven't met at a conference or never met personally. So I know very little about you except what we did pre-show, and that's that you do have 3 children and probably a beautiful wife.
Yes.
Of course. Who's going to say,
Agree.
no, she's pretty ugly, but I love her anyway. So my questions are usually, as I say, out of the box, and obviously want to let people know what you do. So we've done that. If at any time you want to, something pops into your mind, you say, hey, I forgot to tell the audience, go ahead. That's not, you'll never be an interruption. You are the reason I am here. Oh, I love to say that. So you're not an interruption. By the way, that word always sparks me. I am probably a professional interrupter. I try to call it as an interjector, but my husband says, sorry, Nancy, you are an interrupter. Tell me what you think about people who interrupt. See, I look at it as an interjection that I'm adding something, but he takes it every way.
Well, I would say that interrupting it depends on the timing and the content added to it, right? In certain times, heaven forbid, right? I think of you mentioned the kids. You got little kids, you're walking in a parking lot, you got to interrupt the conversation if they take off running and grab their hand, right? So there's an extreme case of that. If there's someone who maybe doesn't have a good sense of awareness, and there's a clear conversation happening, and they talking about whatever it might be, maybe something going, just general water cooler talk, and they decide to talk about birds or whatever might come up, maybe not. But I would say, the interjections that if there's adding flavor, color, that's, I think it generally is positive. So I'm in favor of it.
In my opinion, people who interject want to take over the conversation, and they usually do. I interact and just say, if you said, oh, I'm going to Rome this summer. Oh, I was in Rome. That's an interjection. It's not an interruption in Nancy world. Maybe I'm wrong. Excuse me. Excuse me. That could be. So favorite movie that you've seen recently? See, I told you stuff. It can be on Netflix. It can be any one of them.
Good question. Well, you mentioned the 3 kids. We just watched the new Puss in Boots movie that came out.
Good for you.
And I will say I was pleasantly surprised at the depth and quality that the movie. It was just a great little story and had a great message that it conveyed to kids. And So I thought it was much better than I was anticipating, just given you know,
What you know
the
about that?
style of
Was
the
it a
movie and the
Disney?
cartoons.
Tom, was it a Disney?
No, no, I forget who produced it, but I don't think it was Disney. No.
There you go. There are kid movies that adults might say, hey, that was well produced, it was well done. So Puss in Boots. Did you take him to the
Yeah.
movie theater or was that online?
No, we just they had talked about it and rented it on I forget where it was, Netflix or
Oh, so
Amazon
yeah,
or
right.
something,
You didn't
Amazon
go
Prime
out,
or
you
one of
haven't
those
been
things.
out in the theater world yet. We haven't either. I've been sidelined. That's what brings me to a question I did want to ask you. Are you going to be at IFA?
I will be. I'll be
Good.
there. Yeah,
Terrific.
I will be there. I haven't booked my flights yet. I bought my ticket. I bought the ticket to the show, but I got to get my flights booked. I'm actually waiting. I coach youth baseball for my boys, and so I'm waiting for the season to come out to kind of see when practices are and such, so that I can try to work around that.
Yeah, those are things. Well, good for you that you're going. I wish I were going. You may or may not know, and I'll keep this very short. During COVID, I had a little bout with lung cancer. I am fine, no chemo, no radiation, and I don't want to go into the long story, but what it did was sideline me from conferences, and
I
I
see.
crushed when she said, "Don't, how many people?" I said, "Well, there's usually 3,000 to 4,000." Oh, don't go. If you get sick, Nancy, it's not going to be pretty. So I will
Yeah.
vicariously live through your pictures. Please post hi Nancy somewhere.
All right.
Uh,
Okay. Fair. That's
are
a
you
fair
going
challenge.
as a vendor or will you be a vendor or?
Yeah, I'm just attending the event. So we do not exhibit there. It typically we're not servicing franchisors in the way that the other exhibitors are that are there. A lot of times a lot of the suppliers are technology companies or technology solutions or promotional products or lending solutions, various needs for different franchisors that exhibit at the show. But I'll be going to attend. I actually just completed my CFE, so I'll
Congratulations.
be up, hopefully up on the stage for that, which is exciting. And
I
yeah,
will
thank
applaud
you.
you from here that I too late. I said, oh, maybe I'll do it, but it,
Well, I still want to
I
know
can't go to
because
the conferences. Go ahead.
I completed my last thing that I had to get done. It was literally December 31st. So I'm going to ask the people over at the IFA who, if I was the final one, I was like, I bet there were a bunch of people kind of getting the last thing in, because if you don't get it in by the 31st, you have to wait until the next year's
Wow.
convention. So I was feeling the pressure. I was like, oh, I just want to get this done real quick and try to finish the last thing on New Year's Eve. And so I got it done and submitted. And then I was thinking, I was like, I wonder how many other people were doing the same thing, getting their last few credit requirements in before the end of the year.
Well, congratulations. That is an awesome 3 letters
Thank you.
put after your name.
Yeah.
And I will tag Paul Rocchio from IFA and say he's mentioned in here as to answer Tom to this question, answers Tom questions. Is he the last person in 2022 to get a CFE? That would be an honor. The first person and the last, should be honored, right?
That's right. That's right.
Tell me what you would like those that may be listening, thousands and thousands, what you would like them to know about Big Sky in Nancy talk. Just lay it on the line. You're having a cup of coffee with me, and are you aware, Nancy, of what we do? I'm not Tom. I mean, I am, but maybe there's somebody there that doesn't know.
Yeah, I would say for anyone who's listening in, something that maybe they would like to know or want to know or be interested in knowing, what's worth noting. For an existing franchisor, we offer a comprehensive franchise sales training workshop. And so this is a unique vantage point. It's very cost effective. It's done on Zoom, and it's a 7-hour training with a 160-page workbook. And we call it a workshop because it is a working session. So we go through a 160-page workbook and while we're there. So there's a takeaway, and it's perfect for an emerging franchisor that maybe doesn't quite have their franchise sales process outlined yet. Or, for example, we just had some growing franchisors that had 50, 100 franchisees in their network, and they're adding new staff into their system. And that staff maybe has sales background or is familiar with their industry, but doesn't necessarily have the franchise background. So this is a great way for someone to come in and come through that. Or a franchisor that's maybe just looking to say, just take a fresh look or a fresh perspective at their sales process to get a few nuggets. We've had some well-established franchise brands come through over the last year and a half or so that have come in just for the one or two nuggets that they get out of some time spent like that, and everyone's walked away happy or satisfied with what they've come out with. So I would say that, and as a great little piece there to share.
You know, you speak so well. I'm not saying you should go out and be a speaker because that's a whole nother profession. But if you notice, there was no ums in his words, there was no thinking, and I don't think he's using a teleprompter at all.
No.
I believe Tom knows his stuff. And I learn something every time I talk to him. And I learned something today. I didn't know you had the workshop for franchisors. But you said something interesting in our pre-conversation. Mr. or Mrs. Jones, who own, I hate to say a restaurant because everybody uses that as an example, owns a ladies' wear shop, let's say, and don't really know anything about franchising. They pick up the phone and you get the call, or somebody in your office gets it. You know, we're a retail shop. I don't know anything about franchising. My next door neighbor said I should do it. How do you help non-franchise people franchise?
Yeah, well, that's our expertise, is taking that person who knows nothing or very little about franchising outside of maybe being a customer of a franchise, which pretty much all of us have been at one point or another, even for lunch or a hotel stay somewhere. And so we have a whole process, an educational process that we take that prospect or that inquiry through. And it all starts with knowledge and investigation. So we're going to help educate them. We're going to ask a lot of questions about their business and understand what they're doing to help give them a preliminary assessment. So the consultation, we have no fee. There's no cost for that. And we keep things clean and simple. So there's no cost for anything we do until both of us say, let's do business, and we sign some contracts. So there's no funny business with hourly billing or something like that. I've had clients that a group that just started working with us recently. We've been talking for over 4 years. Wow. And so sometimes it's just a long journey for someone to gather that information and learn about it. And so I would say to anyone who's interested or considering maybe thinking about franchising, we're a great ecosystem to get tied into, because we do produce a lot of content specific to this area. We have a weekly podcast called Multiply Your Success. We're doing regular webinars, educational webinars on franchise related topics that a new franchisor is going to need to know about. One of our good friends, Johnny Francis, is doing a show with him later today. And he's going to be talking about how some of the things for a franchisor mastermind group and some different things that are important in that regard, and some of the things he's doing, but also the value and why joining up with something like that is helpful and important. So that's really, to me, what I would say to someone that's thinking about it. Take that first step. Inquire, and there's no cost, no obligation, no funny business. We keep it really simple, really easy. If it's a fit, great. If it's not, well, the worst thing you're going to do is gain some new wisdom and information to help make a better decision for your company.
Beautiful, just beautiful. I've not met Johnny Francis. He'd probably be a good one to interview on this show.
You should definitely ping him. You'll love him. He's great.
Well, I always like to learn. I was an emerging franchise. And there wasn't, when we were franchising, there wasn't the amount of information, the amount of help, the amount of people. Yes, IFA was there, but it was a different time, just like we're entering in now with the AI stuff, which is a different time.
That's right.
And I got to tell you, I'm so, after my name on LinkedIn, where you get people, I got to ask you one question before we go. You've got, Tom Dufore, PhD. So it's Dr. Dufore. But
yes,
if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't say doctor of
what? Yes, it's a doctor of business administration. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
That makes sense, because you're very good at it. Congratulations on that. I'm going to put Nancy Friedman, speaker, ADD. I'll let people ask what that is.
Yeah. What is that?
Well, I'm ADD.
Uh,
Anyway,
uh,
just had this interesting question, and of course I lost it. You are easy to interview, fun to interview. It was out of the box, which I just love, and I hope you as watching this do. What I was concerned about, and you covered it, is I have a lot of non-franchise friends as well as a lot of franchise friends. And I won't say that the non-franchise people watch me more than the franchise, because the franchise, there's so much out there for them. But there's
mhm.
that much out for Nancy's friends,
Yeah.
so many of whom own one store or etc. So we'll tag you properly, and if off camera you want to say, hey, please tag so and so, we'll do that. Are you
Great.
familiar with James Lipton? He's passed away. He used to have Actor Studio.
I'm not
Well,
familiar.
look
No.
him up on YouTube once. He has a set of questions that he asked Paul Newman and Brad Pitt. It doesn't know who you were. He asked those questions. And Marty McDermott, who does podcasts also,
Hmm.
franchise interviews, who's fabulous, asked me some of those questions. And I said to him, I'm not going to ask all the questions because that's your thing. But there's a question that all the questions are great. What's your favorite word? What's your favorite swear
Hmm.
word? Which we're not going to go into.
Hmm.
Check James Lipton out on YouTube. His interviews are, when you have time and you're not watching Puss in Boots. By the way, if you are a Netflix fan, the series Fauda, Fauda, Fauda,
Hmm. Hmm.
is gross. It's deep. It's war. It's swearing. It's everything. Don't let the kids see it.
Yeah.
But it's addicting video as far as true what happens. It was very good. Maybe I shouldn't have said.
Wow.
But
Okay.
it's not for the kids. Put them to bed first.
Okay. Got it.
Right.
Will do.
Tom, you are brilliant. And I might wish you much, much success. Thanks for spending these 15-20 minutes with us. You gave a lot of information, and I believe that's what people are looking for today. AI is a whole other topic. Just last question, how familiar are you with it?
Familiar enough to know what's have a sense of what might be coming from it, but it is it's really tremendous. I do know that quantum computing is really what's going to drive it. It's that's really going to be the driver to have the processing power for what it can become. I have one of my very good friends was on the forefront of developing some of that technology for quantum computing. It's really interesting. I have no idea it's just over my head in a heartbeat on how all of that works. But in general, it's as quantum computing advances, the artificial intelligence is really going to grow exponentially. So the two, I think, are interlinked together, and we'll see where that goes. It's going to be very interesting, and it's also going to be interesting to see how that impacts. It's already impacting things like higher education, student papers that are getting delivered. How will that impact for content creation as well, for authenticity? How do you verify? So there are going to be some interesting challenges that come up.
That's the scary
Yeah.
part. I always thought I had artificial intelligence. That's how I perceive myself, but they mean it in a whole different way.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful day. I thank you for being out of the box with me. You did absolutely 5-star. Gonna get 5 stars. I'll tag you. If somebody you say, oh, I want, take so and so, I will. This probably will only be on LinkedIn for a while, Facebook. I don't have the ability right now to do all the fancy stuff, but it should be enough to have somebody say, hey, you were good, Tom, and you are.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to be on your show, Nancy, and it's always great to see you.
God bless. Have a wonderful weekend.
Okay, you too.
I got to take our picture. That was what I was reading. We hang up. I have to call you again. We have to set it up again. Okay, so all you got to do is say, I love Nancy. Whoops.
I love Nancy.
Okay, I'm going to take a few. Good. I think we got a couple there. See if I can get them. Woo, shoot. Yeah. Yeah, we got a couple cute ones. Okay, I got you.
All right.
Can't deny you were on the show.
Thank you.
Big hugs to your family. Stay well.
Same to you.
Pleasure.